So today I'm going to be going over my favorite fragrance releases from 2010 up until 2020. So the easiest way to put it is each year I'm going to give you maybe one fragrance per year, except for 1 year, where I'm going to give you a whole bunch of them just for fun and because, in my opinion, from this list here, it was one of the best years for fragrances, at least from what I like. And I mean the best year because collectively out of all of the other years in this video, in this 1 year, there were way more fragrances released all in that year that I really loved compared to a lot of the others. But I have to say though, this time from 2010 to 2020 was a great time for fragrances. We got so many game-changing scents, and there was just so many great fragrances put out within these 10 years. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it, and we're going to start off with 2010. This one's obvious, but I had to do it, and it is Creed Aventus. That's probably my favorite that was put out that year. Pineapple, birch, musk, apple, a whole bunch of notes are some of the main notes there in Aventus. You've heard it a million times, you've seen it a million times. That's just what it is. For me, it is just one of those scents that really kind of changed how I view scents, and it changed the shape of my collection. You know, it has that masculine, strong, almost like peppery edge to it. It's just one that as soon as I tried it, I knew it was one that had to stay with me. And even to this day, I wear this one all the time, and I still get so much enjoyment out of this one. And that's all that really matters. If you like something and you enjoy it, just wear it. And that's what I do with Aventus. Now for 2011, I'm going to go with Dior Homme Intense. Iris, ambrette, and lavender are some of the main notes here in this one. So this should be no surprise either. Some of these are going to be more obvious than others if you watch my channel. But yeah, it's one of my favorite scents ever, especially on the designer side, and especially for being a winter, fall, cooler weather scent. For me, it's all about the mix of the iris, which is a very high quality, expensive smelling ingredient, mixing with this chocolatey ambrette and this nice clean lavender. It's just a great combination. It's powdery, it's sweet, it's upscale, and even though it is, kind of floral and kind of lipsticky from the iris, it does have a masculine touch. It just smells like a confident gentleman who's not afraid to step out a little bit and wear something a bit different. And that's what you have to be comfortable with doing here with this one. It's not something that smells like Nautica Blue and Nautica Voyage and Polo Blue. This one you have to be okay with stepping outside of your comfort zone if you're newer to scents and wearing something that people could potentially find to be unisexual because it's not straight up masculine like you may be used to. For me, always been one of my favorites, and I love wearing it in the fall and winter time. 2011 was a great year for Dior because they put out this masterpiece, which is still doing amazingly well today, kind of like Creed Aventus. 2012 was a bit of a tricky one. I think we had like Eros and a few other ones that I really enjoyed, but the one that stuck out to me, and if I just kind of get all of my ducks in a row, the one that makes the most sense as my favorite of the year was from Chanel, and it is Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme. Tonka bean, orange, and mint are some of the main notes, and yeah, I love this fragrance so much. You know, it has such an upscale, kind of younger guy, fun smell to it. I remember smelling this for the first time, not fully being able to kind of, I guess, imagine what it would smell like. You know, you get to the point where you've smelled so many things, you can look at a note breakdown and just kind of have a general idea of what it's going to smell like. When I first tried this, I was very new to fragrances, and in fact, I got this pretty early on in my collection as well, which is kind of cool because, you know, this is a pretty high-end scent on the designer side, and I picked it up pretty early on, and it was a blind buy. I got it in, I smelled it, and I was like, wow, that's not at all what I was expecting, but I love it. It almost has this mall scent type of smell, and I mean that in the best way possible. I like how it smells, and that's one of the first things that I thought when I first smelled it. Just a well put together, handsome, clean cut dude. That's kind of what Chanel Allure Homme Sport Extreme is. I mean, it's got a bit of sweetness, but it also has a nice mint offset, a nice balance from creaminess to sweetness, making it great really for a signature scent. Moving on to 2013, we have a niche scent. This is from one of my favorite niche brands from Roja Parfums. This one is Enigma, or Creation E. Both are the exact same thing. And obviously this is going to be the Parfum concentration, not the Parfum Cologne, which I guess you could put in here because the DNA was put out in 2013. Cognac, vanilla, and tobacco are some of the main notes. This is an absolute stunner. If you want a very high dollar, very expensive, but very good fall and winter scent, probably primarily wintertime, And again, you're not really afraid to spend some money here on this one. Enigma has to be one of your choices. You don't have to go with it. You could go with something from By Killian, which is a great niche house as well. But I would strongly encourage you to at least try Roja Parfums Enigma. I will link this one down below to Twisted Lily if you happen to want to grab either a bottle or a sample. Again, you can get the Parfum Cologne. It comes in at $290. You can get the Parfum, which I believe is $485. Either way, you can use my code CHAOS10 to get 10% off. That's really going to save you a decent size lump sum of money here when spending that type of money. And if I'm not mistaken, unless they're out of stock, I think Twisted Lily also carries samples of these, which you can add to your cart and purchase as well, just so you can try them, and my code will work for that as well. Moving on to 2014, we have another one from Chanel. Chanel is one of my favorite designer brands, period, so it only made sense that a couple of them were going to make it here in this list. And this one is Bleu de Chanel Eau de Parfum. Grapefruit, incense, and amber are some of the main notes. This still is one of my favorites, and it's one that I wear all the time. I've actually got a couple bottles of this one, or maybe I have a couple bottles of the EDT. I don't know. I have multiple bottles of Bleu de Chanel across their different flankers. I just really like it. It is basic. It is potentially boring. It's not too exciting anymore. But if I'm reaching for kind of a blue fragrance and I want it to be classy and upscale, it's going to be Bleu de Chanel every single time, any day of the week. I wouldn't go for Sauvage. I wouldn't go for Dylan Blue. I wouldn't go for any of those others. If I want class and versatility and compliment factor all in one, it's going to be Bleu de Chanel. Not to say that there aren't any other blue fragrances out there that have a bit of a classy feel. I'm sure there are, and you could wager like Sauvage, Parfum could get that done for you or something, but for me, Bleu de Chanel EDP just takes the cake. I still love the way it smells. It may be basic, but I love it. You know, something like Sauvage, I can't really say that I just love how it smells anymore, but Bleu de Chanel, I really do. I love that grapefruit incense combination. I don't think that will ever get old. So, we're on to the year of 2015. Now, this one, spoiler alert, is going to be the one where I list off a ton of fragrances, and I just find it entertaining. You know, I didn't really realize this until putting this video together, just how influential the year of 2015 was with their fragrance releases. I mean, this is absolutely insane, and the funny thing is I didn't even quite put all of them in here. I didn't want to go too overboard, but yeah, I think we need to unpack this here. We have Acqua di Gio Profumo, Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Male, the One Eau de Parfum, Spice Bomb Extreme, Parfums de Marly Carlisle, CH Men Privé, Memo African Leather, and again, there are many more. All of those amazing fragrances in 2015. I mean, that was a big year for these brands. That's no kidding. Even though they weren't pulling all of this insane revenue in 2015, it took a while to, really kind of catch on. It took a while for these fragrances to gain a massive following. But now that they have, yeah, I'm sure they're glad they released those. I mean, these are all amazing scents. Some of my favorite designer level scents came out in 2015. And again, I'm still missing some. That's just insane to me. What a great year for scents. And I'm glad that brands really kind of got their crap together that year and put out some amazing stuff. And even for niche brands too. Carlisle, one of the best from Parfums de Marly. African Leather, one of the best in my opinion, and one of the more popular ones from Memo. I mean, amazing stuff. Yeah, all those fragrances are really, really good, and I just wanted to throw them all in there because 2015, that was awesome. Moving on to 2016, we have one from Yourlon. This one is L'Homme Ideal Eau de Parfum. Cherry, almond, and vanilla are some of the main notes. I talk highly of this scent. I'm addicted to it. I love it. My bottle is still packed away. I can't find it. I don't remember what box I put it in. Yeah, that sucks. I've started to kind of poke around and unpack some of them as I've had time, and it was unfortunately the box I grabbed were the less desirable ones, the ones I don't really care as much about. So yeah, I'm going to keep digging. This one is amazing. Fall and winter is the best time of year for this scent. The cherry, the almond, it's so classy. It's so well put together. It smells amazing, and the quality is smooth and top-notch from opening to dry down. Great stuff, and also, it's a bit more affordable. From 2017, we have another niche fragrance, also from my favorite niche brand, or one of my favorites, Roja Parfums. You guys know what it is. 2017, it's Elysium. Grapefruit, lemon, vetiver, and ambergris are some of the main notes. So I've talked about this all the time. I've said it multiple times, but I truly do love this fragrance. I talked about it a lot more so when I first discovered it, and so it wasn't me hyping it, saying, oh, everyone needs to go buy this. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't care if you buy it or not. If you don't buy it, it's more for me. It's more for me to have the opportunity to smell unique. And around here, no one's going to be wearing Elysium. And you could say, oh, it's not unique. It's a mashup of other fragrances out there. Sure, it takes inspiration from other fragrances, but it's still kind of off in its own world with just how it's composed. I'm not saying it's 100% unique and, it's not kind of a blue genre in a way, because it is, but still, it's kind of on its own here. I've also said this a million times, but I have multiple bottles of Elysium, and that's not saying to be some sort of weird brag. I'm saying this to let you know, genuinely, I love the scent. I purchased all of the bottles except for one. Roja did send me one bottle after I already had a few. I don't think they knew I had a few of them. And so they sent me one, but the rest I purchased. I have 2 of the parfums and 3 of the parfum colognes, one of which again was sent to me. So I have a lot of this stuff, a lot of money in Elysium. And again, I'm letting you know because I truly love the scent. I'm not talking about it on video just to hype it up. I have my own stash of this stuff because I wear it so often. I enjoy it so much. I always have a decant, a 10 ml decant in my laptop bag with me. That goes with me everywhere. I'm loaded on this stuff. And why is it that, you ask? I don't know. I just love it. It smells great. The versatility is to the extreme. The performance on my skin is great, whether it's the parfum cologne or the parfum. Both of them are very strong. Compliment factor is amazing. It's one of my girlfriend's favorites. The stuff just was made for me almost. And maybe if Roja would be so kind to kind of make a Chaos Fragrances flanker of this, I would love that. I would love that. It's probably never going to happen. He's probably not even going to see this video, but man, wouldn't that be cool. Anyway, one of my favorite scents here, just for special occasions. That's my favorite time to wear this one, weddings and stuff like that. Just when I'm making great memories, I like to wear Elysium. I wear it other times as well, but especially on those times where I want to have, a really solid scent memory, I'll wear Elysium, and I just get so much enjoyment out of it. Makes me feel so good when I wear it. Yeah, 2017, Elysium, I love it. Also, this was the Parfum Cologne, so I'm thinking maybe the Parfum came out before this, perhaps a year or two before. I probably should have looked into that before putting this together, but you get the idea. Parfum Cologne was the first one that I bought anyway, so we'll roll with that. 2018, we have Prada Luna Rossa Black. Tonka bean and amber are some of the main notes. Simplest way to put it. That's really all you need to know. It is powdery, smooth, sweet, and seductive. For a men's fragrance, this one is on the very sweet and powdery side. It's kind of like Dior Homme Intense, not in terms of smell, but just in terms of it's a different men's fragrance. It's not super strong and masculine and citrus aromatic and blue fragrance out of the shower. It is the complete opposite. For me, I love it in the wintertime. It smells absolutely incredible, and the cool air really helps to kind of tame back some of the sweetness and really round it off. It's got that Prada smooth, clean quality. I can't get enough of this stuff. Moving on to 2019, this one also had a few great fragrances. Halloween Man X was one of them. Top-notch winter scent for the price. I almost put that, but ultimately at the end of the day, I had to put this one, which is Armani Code Absolute. Vanilla, suede, and tonka bean are some of the main notes, along with some orange. Yeah, this stuff is absolutely killer. It's divine. I love how this thing smells. It's smooth, it's sweet, it's seductive, it smells incredible. One of my favorite winter releases, and I am seriously impressed with how good of a job they did on this one. I'm not saying I was expecting them to release a bad scent, but come on. Having it this good, that's awesome. And finally, for 2020, a fragrance that in my opinion really does deserve the attention and the positive feedback that it has gotten. Now, 2020 wasn't the best year for fragrances, so this wasn't too terribly hard. Obviously, due to the whole worldwide situation, things got drastically slowed down. But we've caught up in 2021 with some great stuff. But ultimately, kind of what sticks out to me the most for last year is Le Male Les Parfums. Cardamom, lavender, vanilla, and oriental notes are some of the main notes. It smells amazing. That cardamom and oriental notes really gives it that spicy oriental smell. You get a vanilla sweetness, you get the lavender from the original Le Male. The way I've described this one a million times is it's kind of a combination of Ultra Male and the original Le Male with an oriental twist thrown in. So a ton of sweetness from the vanilla from Ultra Male, clean lavender aromatic smell from the original with an oriental cardamom spicy warm twist that's just kind of on its own thrown in. That's really how I describe it, because it still has a lot of sweetness like Ultra Male, still has that clean and freshness, but with its own unique twist, and I think it is top notch. This stuff is phenomenal. This is another one that for fall and winter time I'm going to be gravitating heavily towards. I think that's going to do it for me, guys. That was my 10 favorite fragrance releases from 2010 to 2020, and well, let's be real, that was more than 10. The year of 2015 kind of stacked that list up. Regardless, these were some amazing fragrances, and these 10 years was an amazing time for fragrances. So let me know, what are some of your favorite releases from these years? You don't have to go through all of them, but maybe out of those years, what year was your favorite based on all of the fragrances that were released within that year? For me, obviously, it's probably going to be 2015, but also there was years like 2010 with Aventus and some others where it's kind of hard. If you want to purchase any of these fragrances, they will be linked down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.